We are on our way to see Robin Fray Carey. She is the editor, along with her partner Jerry Bowles, of Social Media Today. Hi, Rob. There you go. Thank you very much.
Hi, guys.
So, Robin Fray Carey, here we are at the world headquarters of Social Media Today, up in, where are we?
New York
Square.
office. Yes.
The New York office of Social Media Today. Let's just talk about what you're up to.
We created Social Media Today. That was my co-founder, Jerry Bowles, and I, really just because we were enjoying so much all the conversations that were taking place about Web 2.0 and about what was happening in the media business and how all these new tools and platforms could be used for furthering a more transparent, a more authentic, a more immediate kind of conversation. So my background's in advertising sales, and I just had this kind of notion that if you could get an engaged group of people, an engaged group of important business decision makers sort of together online, that had to have some kind of intrinsic value. We didn't know what it was. And we were just fortunate that we were able to prove that over the last couple of years. Social Media Today is still our largest community-based website, and it's a community, a term I know you understand, but it's a community of bloggers. All of our sites start by creating community and conversation with the leading bloggers on a particular business topic. And anyone can come to Social Media Today and add his or her blog. It's a very open, democratic blogging platform.
So it's like a blog of blogs.
Exactly.
Like I have a friend who has a hedge fund of hedge funds.
Right, exactly.
So you have a blog of blogs.
A meta blog.
So, a meta blog.
For some of our blogs too, the bloggers only blog occasionally. And we give them tremendous exposure, which they wouldn't ordinarily get, because if you only blog occasionally, it's not going to help your search, it's not going to help you build audience. You have to blog really frequently. So we do offer an alternative for bloggers who have something important to say and who say it well, but who don't want to blog all the time.
Because somebody can then just subscribe to Social Media Today.
Exactly.
So give me some numbers. I mean, how many bloggers do you have? How many people are looking at what you have?
Across our sites, and we now have 11 distinct URL sites, communities. Social Media Today gets the most traffic, gets about 8,000 or 9,000 unique visitors daily. I don't know, that's something like 80,000, 90,000 unique visitors a month. If you Google social media, it's one of the first sites that comes up on the search engine results page. So it's growing, I think, not only in terms of numbers, but certainly in terms of influence. The beauty of our model is it's duplicable. You can duplicate it across any business vertical, any kind of topic that you want to have a conversation about. And first and foremost, that's what we do. We don't just say, oh, well, we have a client who wants to reach, garbage disposal people. We think, what's a really interesting conversation that could be had about disposing garbage, and who are the interesting bloggers who are writing about it? And then from there, we create communities.
So what are you really excited about these days?
Growing our business. It's exciting to me that we've been able to answer the question, what's the value of social media? What's it going to mean to my bottom line? Because I do think that ourselves and others will be able to create an enormous amount of business value using these tools in ways that traditional media never could.
When people say to you, what's social media, what do you tell them?
It's the ability to see visibly and in real time what's happening to information because of the new tools and the new mechanisms that are being provided. And I think that it's a type of media that certainly has nothing to do with what I worked on all my life and what I grew up with and what you grew up with. It's so much more immediate and it's so much more transparent. It's brilliant. What's really different about it is the business models. They're completely different. There is so much information now that is free. And so what are the implications of that for anyone who wants to make a business out of it?
Is it all over? Is it all, do you think, I mean, there are plenty of bloggers, you probably have some of them that say it's over for the old business model.
The mistake I think the traditional media companies have been making as they move into online is that they don't really embrace this new source of information. They're very tentative about it. They feel that it's more threatening than an opportunity. And then I think the other problem that they have is that they've allowed the Google and to some extent Yahoo model of cost per impression or cost per click to dominate their pricing mechanisms. And I don't think they are getting enough value out of their own brands and out of their own readership.
So what inspires you these days? I mean, where do you get your inspiration from?
I'm inspired by other old media types who are getting on the bandwagon and understanding what this opportunity represents.
What do you think? I mean, do you have a view on what you think the next big thing is?
I think the next big thing will be more value to be derived from this sort of creating these trusted networks, which basically will be what social media will be. I think that that's going to be, that they're going to be brands around trusted networks of information. How those get set up and how that's monetized will be very, very, very interesting.
You're working, from a client point of view, you're working mostly in the B2B space.
I think B2B is brilliant for social media because reputation is so important. It probably trumps brand in B2B. I think arguably from a social media standpoint, there's more innovation in B2C. There's certainly more money in B2C. But I think B2B is
There's more visibility in B2C.
There's more visibility, but B2B is what we love. I mean, you've got to follow your own passion, right?
You know, these days there are lots of people out there that are worried because with the advent of social media, there's all of a sudden a proliferation of junk online.
Yeah.
Of people calling themselves pundits who aren't really pundits, of people calling themselves writers who can't write, you know, of people reporting on things that aren't really high integrity reporting. Does that worry you, or do you just feel like the cream will rise to the top and we should all relax?
I wouldn't act on the information of anyone that who is not a trusted source. It's very hard to get away with something that's not true for very long online.
What do you tell your clients, senior executives? Like, do you think CEOs should use and understand social media? Do you think senior executives should be on Twitter?
I don't think they have any choice. Not just CEOs. I think throughout an organization, throughout an enterprise, you're going to have people blogging.
If you weren't doing this, what would you do?
Garden.
Yes, with the plants behind you, I can tell. Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is the most fun thing anybody could be doing right now. So gardening is my only plan B at the moment.
Yeah. It does sound like the wild, wild west, but
it is never a dull moment, you know, and it's truly 24/7. So it keeps life interesting.
Yeah.